The hidden truth about muscle loss after 60. Imagine walking into your kitchen early in the morning. The sun is coming through the blinds. You've got your coffee brewing. And on the counter sits a simple fruit bowl. Maybe there's an apple, a banana, a few berries, something so ordinary you hardly give it a second thought. Now what if I told you that inside that very fruit bowl lies one of the most overlooked yet powerful tools for rebuilding muscle after the age of 60? We're used to thinking of muscle loss as an unavoidable part of aging, something to tolerate. Maybe try to slow down, but never really reverse. Doctors even have a name for it, sarcopenia. It sounds technical, but the reality is painfully simple. After about age 60, you begin to lose muscle at a rate of 3 to 5% every 10 years. That may not sound like much, but imagine carrying a grocery bag that used to weigh 10 pounds and suddenly, a decade later, it feels like 12. Or picture climbing the same set of stairs you've always climbed. Only now you need to hold the railing just to keep your balance. It creeps in quietly, reduced strength, slower recovery after exercise, more frequent falls, and sometimes even the heartbreaking loss of independence. Here's the breakthrough. What scientists in nutrition and neurobiology are discovering is that muscle loss doesn't just respond to weightlifting or protein shakes. Certain natural compounds, hidden in everyday fruits, actually talk to your body at the cellular level. They send biochemical signals that encourage your muscles not just to maintain but to regenerate. Think about that. Food isn't just fuel, it's information. It's instructions coded in molecules that your body can read and respond to. So what exactly is happening inside your body when you hit your 60s? Let's take a closer look. Why muscles fade with age. When you were younger, your body was like a well-tuned machine. You could go for a run, lift a box, or spend the afternoon gardening, and by the next morning your muscles would recover almost effortlessly. That's because inside each muscle fiber, millions of microscopic processes were working in perfect harmony, repairing damage, producing energy, and building new tissue. But with age, that harmony starts to break down. The communication lines weaken. Muscle fibers don't respond as well to the signals that tell them to grow. This is what scientists call anabolic resistance. Your body becomes less efficient at turning protein from your diet into actual muscle tissue. It's like trying to water a dry garden. The soil doesn't absorb it the way it used to. One of the master switches for muscle growth is a pathway called mTOR, mechanistic target of rapamycin. Think of mTOR as the light switch that tells your body, it's time to build. When it's active, muscle cells begin repairing and growing stronger. Traditionally, two things have been known to flip that switch: resistance exercise and specific amino acids like leucine. That's why weightlifting and high-quality protein are the gold standards for muscle health. But here's where it gets exciting. New studies show that certain phytonutrients, natural compounds found in fruits, can also influence mTOR signaling. They don't replace exercise or protein, but they make those signals louder, stronger, more effective. It's like turning up the volume on your body's internal radio so the message, build muscle, comes through loud and clear. More than just calories, fruits as biochemical messengers. We often think of fruit as healthy sugar, something light. Maybe a source of vitamins, fiber, or hydration, but dig a little deeper and you'll find a treasure chest of polyphenols, antioxidants, and bioactive compounds that act like biochemical messengers. These aren't passive nutrients. They actively engage with your body's repair systems. Take ursolic acid, a compound found in the skins of apples, cranberries, and prunes. Research from the University of Iowa showed that ursolic acid can stimulate muscle growth and even mimic some of the biological effects of strength training. Imagine that. Biting into an apple with the skin on isn't just giving you fiber, it's delivering a compound that helps your muscles remember how to grow. Or consider anthocyanins, the pigments that make blueberries and tart cherries such vibrant colors. These aren't just pretty molecules. They protect your mitochondria, the tiny power plants inside your cells that generate energy. Stronger mitochondria mean faster recovery, better endurance, and less fatigue. And then there's potassium and magnesium in bananas, electrolytes critical for nerve signaling and muscle contraction. Without them, your muscles misfire, leading to cramps, weakness, and poor balance. In other words, fruit is not simply about eating healthy. It's about precision nutrition, targeting the exact pathways your body needs to stay strong, resilient, and independent as you age. Why this matters for life after 60. Let's step back for a moment. Why does this matter so much? Because losing muscle isn't just about vanity or appearance. It's about freedom. When you lose muscle, you don't just lose strength, you lose mobility, energy, and confidence. You hesitate before climbing stairs. You second-guess whether you can carry the groceries in one trip. You worry about falling and not being able to get up. But picture the opposite. Picture walking into your 70s and 80s with steady balance, firm grip strength, and the confidence that your body will do what you ask it to. That's the gift of protecting and rebuilding muscle. It's not about living forever, it's about living fully. And here's the empowering truth. You don't need exotic supplements or miracle drugs. The tools are often right there on your kitchen counter. An apple, a handful of blueberries, a banana after your walk, a glass of tart cherry juice before bed, a few spoonfuls of pomegranate seeds sprinkled on your salad. These are small, simple, daily choices, but they carry powerful, scientifically proven effects at the cellular level. Where we're going next. In this series, we'll uncover the top 5 fruits that science shows can reverse age-related muscle loss: apples, blueberries, tart cherries, bananas, and pomegranates. For each, we'll break down the research, explain the mechanisms, and, most importantly, show you exactly how and when to eat them for maximum effect. Because this isn't just about information, it's about transformation. You're not just feeding your body, you're instructing it. You're telling your cells, it's time to grow stronger again. So let's begin with the first fruit on our list, and discover how something as simple as leaving the skin on your apple could help you rebuild the strength you thought was gone for good. Apples, cranberries, and prunes, the skin that rebuilds strength. Think about the last time you bit into a crisp apple. Maybe it was a Honey Crisp in the fall, or a Granny Smith sliced into a salad. Most of us barely think twice about the skin. We either eat it without thought or peel it off for a smoother bite. But what if that thin layer of apple skin was hiding one of the most powerful compounds for rebuilding muscle after 60? The secret is ursolic acid, a naturally occurring phytochemical found in the peels of apples, cranberries, and prunes. It doesn't get as much press as vitamin C or fiber, but in the world of muscle science, it's a quiet superstar. Ursolic acid interacts with your body at a genetic level, stimulating muscle-building pathways and shutting down genes that promote muscle breakdown. How ursolic acid works at the cellular level. To understand how this compound works, let's revisit the mTOR pathway we talked about earlier. mTOR is like a switchboard operator. It decides whether your body should build, maintain, or break down muscle tissue. Resistance exercise and amino acids can flip this switch. But as we age, the signal gets weaker. That's why it feels harder to gain or even maintain strength after 60. No matter how much protein you eat. Here's where ursolic acid comes in. Research out of the University of Iowa, published in the journal Cell Metabolism, found that ursolic acid not only boosts IGF-1 signaling, a hormone crucial for muscle growth, but it also suppresses atrophy-related genes, the ones that literally tell your body to break down muscle. In lab studies, mice given ursolic acid developed more muscle mass and even increased brown fat, which supports metabolism and energy balance. Think of it this way: if mTOR is the builder, and age is the cranky boss telling the builder to slow down, ursolic acid is like the enthusiastic foreman saying, "No, keep going, we've got work to do." Beyond exercise, amplifying the benefits of movement. Now, let's be clear, no fruit, no matter how powerful, can replace exercise. Muscle grows when it's challenged. Resistance training, whether that's lifting weights, using resistance bands, or even body weight moves like squats and push-ups, is still the main driver of muscle health. But here's the magic: ursolic acid acts like an amplifier. Even if you do a light 20-minute strength session, eating apples with the peel afterward helps make that workout more effective at the cellular level. It's like pairing a microphone with a speaker. The workout provides the message, and the ursolic acid makes sure every muscle cell hears it loud and clear. For older adults dealing with anabolic resistance, this combination is particularly crucial. Instead of only relying on more and more protein, something your body may not process as efficiently, ursolic acid gives your cells the green light to respond to the protein and exercise signals more effectively. Why the skin matters. Here's a key point: the highest concentration of ursolic acid is found in the skin of the fruit, not the flesh. That means if you're peeling your apples, you're discarding the very part that holds the muscle rebuilding magic. The same goes for cranberries and prunes. When you eat them whole, or in dried form without too much added sugar, you're giving your body access to ursolic acid along with a host of polyphenols that reduce inflammation and oxidative stress. It's no coincidence that traditional diets emphasizing whole fruits, skins and all, have long been associated with better strength and longevity. Science is simply catching up to what intuition and tradition have shown for centuries. Practical ways to add ursolic acid to your diet. So how do you make this science practical? Let's talk real-world strategies. Apples with the peel on. 1 medium apple with the skin provides fiber, vitamin C and a dose of ursolic acid. Aim for 1 per day. Ideally after physical activity when your muscles are primed for repair. Cranberries. A handful, about 1/4 cup, of dried cranberries with no added sugar makes for a convenient snack. Even better, toss fresh cranberries into oatmeal or blend them into smoothies. Prunes. About 4 to 5 prunes, roughly 2 ounces, not only deliver ursolic acid but also support digestion and bone health thanks to their high potassium and vitamin K content. Pairing matters too. Remember, bioactive compounds often absorb better when eaten with a little fat or protein. For example, apple slices with almond butter, or prunes mixed into Greek yogurt, not only taste good but also increase the effectiveness of these nutrients. A case study: Robert, age 68. Let's bring this to life with a story. Robert, a 68-year-old retired bus driver from Texas, noticed that his arms felt weaker after just carrying his groceries. He was also recovering slowly after weekend yard work. His daughter encouraged him to start a simple strength routine: body weight squats, wall push-ups, and resistance band pulls. But here's the twist: Robert also began eating an apple with the skin on after every session. Within 3 months, he noticed not just improved strength, but also quicker recovery. His physical therapist explained that the combination of exercise and ursolic acid was likely helping his muscles respond more efficiently, rebuilding instead of breaking down. Stories like Robert's illustrate an important truth: you don't need extreme interventions. Small, consistent choices, like eating an apple instead of peeling it, can have compounding effects over time. The broader impact: more than muscle. Another fascinating aspect of ursolic acid is that it doesn't just affect muscle, it also influences brown fat, the type of fat that burns energy instead of storing it. That means including apples, cranberries, and prunes in your diet may also support weight management and metabolic health. For older adults struggling with both muscle loss and creeping weight gain, this dual benefit is huge. Stronger muscles mean better mobility and independence, while a more active metabolism supports heart health and blood sugar balance. Closing the loop. So let's step back. What started as an ordinary apple sitting in your fruit bowl is now a symbol of something much greater, a tool for resilience, longevity, and independence. Ursolic acid is just one of many plant compounds that remind us food is not just fuel. It's information. Every bite sends instructions to your cells, shaping how your body ages. By choosing apples with the peel, a handful of cranberries, or a few prunes each day, you're not just snacking, you're voting for a stronger, more capable version of yourself. You're telling your muscles, I still need you. Stay strong. And as simple as it sounds, that daily choice could mean the difference between relying on others or continuing to live life on your terms. Next, we'll turn our attention to another powerful fruit, one that doesn't just support your muscles, but the very engines that power them: blueberries, the guardians of your mitochondria. Blueberries, restoring the energy engines inside your muscles. Picture this: you've just finished a light walk around your neighborhood. Maybe 20 minutes at a steady pace. Years ago, you'd feel refreshed and energized afterward. But now, at 65 or 70, you notice something different. Instead of bouncing back, you feel drained. Your legs feel heavy. Recovery takes longer than it used to. You wonder, am I just getting too old? The answer isn't simply age, it's mitochondria. These tiny, bean-shaped organelles inside your cells are often called the powerhouses of the cell. They're responsible for producing energy in the form of ATP, the fuel your muscles and brain need to function. And here's the catch: as you get older, the number and efficiency of your mitochondria decline. That decline means your muscles heal more slowly, fatigue more quickly, and lose the resilience they once had. It's not just about soreness, it's about your body's ability to power through daily life. But here's where blueberries step into the story. The power of anthocyanins. Blueberries get their deep, rich color from a group of compounds called anthocyanins. These aren't just natural pigments, they're potent antioxidants and molecular messengers that interact directly with your mitochondria. A 2020 study published in the Journals of Gerontology found that older adults who consumed just 35 grams of freeze-dried blueberries per day, about the equivalent of a cup of fresh berries, showed measurable improvements in mitochondrial function in their muscles after only 12 weeks. Participants didn't just test better in the lab, they experienced real-world benefits: greater leg strength, improved mobility, and less fatigue. How does this happen? Anthocyanins upregulate a gene called PGC1-alpha, which acts like a master switch for mitochondrial biogenesis. In simple terms, they tell your body to make more mitochondria and improve the ones you already have. At the same time, they reduce oxidative stress, one of the main drivers of mitochondrial damage as we age. Think of anthocyanins as both a repair crew and an expansion team for your cellular energy plants. They clean up the damage and then order new equipment to boost production. Why this matters after 60? Let's bring this down to earth. Why should you care about mitochondria when you're over 60? Because everything depends on them. The energy to climb stairs, the power to carry groceries, the ability to recover from a long day on your feet. Even your brain relies heavily on mitochondrial function to maintain focus, memory, and mood. When mitochondria decline, you don't just feel weaker, you feel older. Recovery slows, exercise feels harder, and fatigue becomes a daily companion. But when mitochondria are supported, the opposite happens: energy improves, endurance rises, and you regain the confidence to move freely. Blueberries give your cells the tools to adapt. And adaptation, not deterioration, is the real hallmark of healthy aging. Practical ways to use blueberries. So how do you incorporate blueberries into your daily life? Here are some simple, science-backed strategies. Morning smoothie. Blend 1 to 2 cups of fresh or frozen blueberries with Greek yogurt and a tablespoon of flaxseed. The protein helps with muscle repair, while the healthy fats improve anthocyanin absorption. Post-workout snack. Add a cup of blueberries to a small bowl of cottage cheese or whey protein shake within 30 minutes of finishing your exercise. This timing maximizes mitochondrial support when your muscles are most receptive. Simple dessert. Sprinkle blueberries over oatmeal or mix them with a handful of walnuts in the evening. This combination supports not just muscle health but also brain function and cardiovascular resilience. Consistency is the secret. Anthocyanins don't work like a painkiller you feel in an hour. They work like a savings account, small deposits every day that grow into real wealth for your body over months and years. A story: Janet's transformation. Take Janet, a 72-year-old grandmother from Ohio. She loved walking her dog every morning, but lately she felt winded halfway through the park. She also struggled with brain fog in the afternoons. Her doctor suggested adding blueberries to her diet, not as a miracle cure but as part of a broader plan for healthy aging. Janet began eating a cup of blueberries with her breakfast each day. After 3 months, she noticed her walks felt easier, she wasn't dragging her feet as much, and her afternoon energy slump had improved. More surprisingly, she found her memory sharper when reading stories to her grandchildren. This wasn't magic, it was mitochondria. By supporting the very engines of her cells, Janet wasn't just boosting her muscles, she was boosting her life. The bonus: blueberries for brain health. Here's another reason blueberries are so powerful. They don't just target muscle mitochondria, they also improve blood flow and reduce inflammation in the brain. The same anthocyanins that restore energy production in your muscles also protect neurons, increase cerebral blood flow, and reduce cognitive decline. For older adults, this is a game changer. It means that a cup of blueberries isn't just helping you walk with more confidence, it's also helping you stay sharp, focused, and emotionally resilient. In fact, some studies show that regular blueberry consumption can improve working memory and executive function in as little as 12 weeks. A simple science-backed protocol. If you want to make blueberries part of your routine, here's a simple, practical plan. Aim for 1 to 2 cups per day of fresh or frozen blueberries. That's about the size of a baseball to 2 baseballs. Consistency over intensity. It's better to eat a cup every day than 3 cups once a week. Combine with movement. A 20-minute walk after meals enhances glucose control and amplifies the benefits of anthocyanins on muscle fuel efficiency. It's not about eating blueberries once and expecting miracles. It's about weaving them into your daily rhythms so that their effects build up silently, steadily, and powerfully over time. Closing thoughts. When you look at a handful of blueberries, it's easy to dismiss them as just a tasty snack. But in reality, they're a molecular toolkit for restoring the engines that power your muscles and mind. They don't just feed you, they teach your cells how to adapt, repair, and thrive. So the next time you walk through the produce aisle, don't overlook that small blue fruit. Toss a pint into your cart, and know that you're not just buying food, you're buying resilience. And remember, the goal isn't perfection, it's consistency. Every cup of blueberries is a vote for more energy, faster recovery, sharper thinking, and greater independence. Next, we'll turn to another fruit that tackles one of the most silent threats to aging muscles: chronic inflammation. Meet tart cherries, the natural remedy that fights soreness, improves sleep, and protects your strength from the inside out. Tart cherries, fighting inflammation, improving sleep, and protecting your muscles. If you've ever felt sore for days after something as simple as yard work or a long walk, you've experienced the invisible hand of inflammation. And while a little inflammation is normal, your body's way of repairing itself, chronic low-grade inflammation is a silent thief. It steals your energy, slows your recovery, and accelerates muscle loss. Scientists even have a term for it: inflammaging. Here's the good news: one of the most powerful foods for fighting inflammaging isn't exotic or hard to find. It's the tart cherry, specifically the Montmorency variety. These bright red fruits are packed with anthocyanins and polyphenols, compounds that reduce inflammatory signals in your muscles and bloodstream. And they bring along a bonus: natural melatonin to improve sleep. The very time when your muscles repair and grow. Why inflammation is so dangerous after 60. To understand why tart cherries matter, we need to understand what inflammation does to aging muscles. As you pass 60, your body's baseline level of inflammatory chemicals, things like interleukin-6, tumor necrosis factor alpha, and C-reactive protein, CRP, tends to rise. They don't cause sharp pain the way a sprained ankle would. Instead, they create a background hum of stress inside your tissues. This chronic stress disrupts insulin signaling, damages mitochondria, and interferes with muscle protein synthesis. Over time, it speeds up sarcopenia, making muscles weaker, stiffer, and slower to recover. It's why an activity that once left you sore for a day now leaves you limping for a week. Inflammaging is like rust on a car. It doesn't happen overnight, but if you don't address it, the structure slowly breaks down. The science behind tart cherries. Here's where tart cherries shine. A randomized controlled trial published in the Journal of the International Society of Sports Nutrition found that people who drank tart cherry juice for just 7 days before and after a strenuous exercise session experienced significantly less muscle soreness, lower inflammation, and faster recovery of strength compared to a placebo group. And this isn't just about athletes. For older adults, daily tart cherry consumption has been shown to lower CRP levels, reduce oxidative stress, and even improve markers of cardiovascular health. In other words, tart cherries don't just help after a workout, they help reset your body's baseline inflammatory state. What's even more fascinating is their effect on melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Tart cherries naturally contain melatonin, making them one of the rare foods that both reduce inflammation and enhance the deep, restorative sleep your body needs for muscle regeneration. Practical protocol: how to use tart cherries. Here's how you can bring tart cherries into your daily rhythm. Tart cherry juice. Drink 8 to 12 ounces of unsweetened Montmorency tart cherry juice in the evening, about 1 to 2 hours before bed. This timing supports both inflammation control and sleep quality. Dried tart cherries. Snack on about 1/4 cup of dried tart cherries. Pair them with a handful of almonds or walnuts to improve satiety and provide healthy fats. Fresh or frozen, if available. Use fresh or frozen tart cherries in smoothies or yogurt bowls. Consistency matters. Think of tart cherries as part of your evening wind-down routine, just like brushing your teeth or turning off the lights. A story: Margaret's nightly routine. Margaret, a 70-year-old retired teacher from Florida, struggled with knee pain and restless nights. She wasn't sleeping deeply, and her morning walks were leaving her stiff and sore. At her doctor's suggestion, she started drinking a glass of tart cherry juice in the evening. Within 2 weeks, Margaret noticed she was falling asleep faster and waking up fewer times during the night. After a month, her morning stiffness had eased, and her walks felt smoother. Her doctor later confirmed that her CRP levels, a key marker of inflammation, had dropped. For Margaret, tart cherries weren't just a bedtime drink. They were a turning point toward reclaiming her mobility and confidence. Why sleep and muscle are linked. Most people don't realize this, but the majority of muscle repair happens while you sleep. During deep sleep, your body releases growth hormone, which triggers protein synthesis and tissue repair. If your sleep is disrupted or shallow, you rob your muscles of their most important recovery window. That's why tart cherries are such a unique ally. They don't just ease inflammation that tears down muscle, they also support the very process that builds it back up. One fruit, two major systems supported: less rust, more repair. The bigger picture: more than muscles. Reducing inflammation with tart cherries also protects your joints, heart, and brain. Chronic inflammation contributes to arthritis, cardiovascular disease, and even cognitive decline. By dialing down the inflammatory signals, tart cherries help protect not just your muscles, but your entire aging body. And the beauty is in the simplicity. No complicated prescriptions, no extreme diets, just a glass of juice or a handful of cherries before bed. Closing thoughts. Tart cherries may look small, but their impact is enormous. They fight the chronic inflammation that erodes muscle, improve sleep so your body can repair itself, and provide a daily ritual that feels as comforting as it is powerful. When you add tart cherries to your evening routine, you're doing more than reducing soreness. You're creating an internal environment where your muscles, joints, and heart can thrive. So tonight, as you wind down, picture this: a simple glass of tart cherry juice, enjoyed slowly as you relax into the evening. It's not just a drink, it's a 3-for-1 investment in your strength, your recovery, and your independence. Next, we'll turn to another surprisingly powerful fruit, one you've probably eaten your whole life, but never realized how essential it is for muscle health. Let's talk about bananas, the humble mineral powerhouse that keeps your muscles firing, cramp-free, and strong. Bananas, the neuromuscular superfood that keeps your muscles firing. When most people look at a banana, they see a quick snack. Maybe a little sugar, maybe something to slice into cereal. Simple, convenient, nothing extraordinary. But here's the twist: after the age of 60, bananas become far more than a sweet fruit. They're a neuromuscular superfood, an essential supply line for the minerals your muscles need to contract, relax, and stay strong. Let's dig into why this humble yellow fruit is a game changer for aging muscles. The overlooked problem: mineral depletion after 60. We tend to think of muscle weakness or cramps as a sign of getting older. But often the real culprit is mineral depletion. As we age, our bodies become less efficient at absorbing and retaining key electrolytes, especially potassium and magnesium. These minerals are not optional extras. They are the electric currency your nerves and muscles run on. Every time you take a step, lift your arm, or even blink your eyes, a tiny electrical message passes from your nerves to your muscle fibers. That message only works if the right ions, potassium, sodium, magnesium, and calcium, are in place. Without them, the signal is garbled. The result: weakness, slower reaction times, cramps, and even poor balance. Bananas are rich in these very electrolytes, delivering them in a natural, easy-to-digest package. Potassium, the silent muscle protector. One medium banana provides about 425 milligrams of potassium, which is over 10% of your daily recommended intake. Potassium is essential for balancing fluids in and out of muscle cells, maintaining steady nerve transmission, and preventing cramps that so often strike at night or after activity. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that higher potassium intake was directly linked to greater muscle mass and reduced age-related muscle loss, especially in older women. It's no exaggeration to say that potassium is one of the cornerstones of keeping your muscles strong as you age. Think about those moments when you're awakened at night by a calf cramp so sharp it takes your breath away. That's often a potassium issue. Regular banana consumption helps build a mineral reserve that protects against those painful interruptions and keeps your muscles firing smoothly. Magnesium, the muscle relaxer. But it's not just potassium. Bananas also contain magnesium, another mineral that plays a critical role in more than 300 enzymatic processes in the body. When it comes to muscles, magnesium is the relaxer. Without enough of it, muscles stay tense longer, recover more slowly, and are more prone to strain. Research has shown that older adults with higher magnesium intake have stronger legs, better grip strength, and improved overall physical performance. Bananas offer a simple way to top up your reserves. Pair them with other magnesium-rich foods like nuts or dark leafy greens, and you've got a powerful foundation for muscle health. Carbs with a purpose. Some people worry that bananas are too sugary, especially when managing blood sugar. But here's the key: bananas come with fiber, vitamins, and minerals that slow down sugar absorption. And when combined with protein or fat, their glycemic impact is significantly reduced. More importantly, The natural carbohydrates in bananas play a crucial role in replenishing glycogen stores in your muscles after activity. Glycogen is your muscle's short-term energy reserve. Without it, you fatigue faster and recover slower. A banana with a protein source after exercise isn't just a snack, it's a science-backed recovery tool. Practical ways to use bananas. Here's how to harness the power of bananas in your daily life. Post-workout recovery. Within 30 minutes of light to moderate exercise. Eat one banana with a protein source like Greek yogurt, a whey shake, or even a glass of milk. This combo restores glycogen, replenishes electrolytes, and triggers muscle repair. Evening cramp prevention. Pair a banana with a tablespoon of natural peanut butter before bed. The potassium and magnesium support muscle relaxation, while the fat and protein slow digestion, giving you steady energy overnight. On-the-go snack. Keep bananas handy in the car or kitchen. Unlike supplements or powders, bananas are portable, affordable, and require no preparation. A story. Henry's nighttime relief. Henry, a 66-year-old from Arizona, had been waking up several nights a week with severe leg cramps. They were so bad he sometimes had to get out of bed and walk around for relief. After reading about potassium and magnesium, he began eating a banana every evening with a spoonful of almond butter. Within 2 weeks, the cramps had all but disappeared. Henry wasn't just sleeping better, he woke up with more energy and confidence in his legs. He later joked, "That little banana did more for me than the expensive supplements I was taking." Henry's story shows the power of addressing root causes rather than masking symptoms. Sometimes, the solution is as close as your fruit bowl. Beyond muscles, bananas and heart health. Another hidden benefit of bananas is their role in cardiovascular health. Potassium helps regulate blood pressure by balancing sodium levels, reducing strain on the heart. For older adults, this dual action, protecting both muscles and the cardiovascular system, is a priceless combination. Think of it this way: strong muscles give you independence, while a strong heart keeps you alive to enjoy it. Bananas quietly support both. Closing thoughts. Bananas may be one of the most common fruits in the world. But when you look deeper, they're anything but ordinary. They provide the electrolytes your muscles need to fire correctly, the minerals to relax and recover, and the carbohydrates to restore energy. They're simple, affordable, and effective. So the next time you peel a banana, don't think of it as just a snack. Think of it as a neuromuscular support system in a yellow wrapper. A tool to keep your legs steady, your hands strong, and your nights free from painful cramps. One banana a day may not sound revolutionary, but over time, it can be the steady support your body needs to stay mobile and resilient well into your 70s and beyond. Up next, we'll explore a fruit that doesn't just feed your muscles, it improves the very highways that deliver oxygen and nutrients to them. Let's turn to pomegranates, the circulation boosters that keep your body's inner roads wide open and ready for strength. Pomegranates, boosting circulation and muscle recovery. Imagine trying to rebuild a house but not having enough trucks to deliver the bricks, wood, and nails to the construction site. No matter how good your materials are, if they can't reach the site, the building stalls. That's exactly what happens inside your body as you age. Even if you eat enough protein and nutrients, reduced circulation can prevent those materials from getting to your muscles where they're needed most. This is where pomegranates step into the spotlight. Beyond their jewel-like seeds and tart flavor, pomegranates contain unique compounds that directly improve blood flow, enhance oxygen delivery, and support muscle recovery. In other words, they don't just feed your muscles, they open the highways that bring nutrients to them. The circulation problem after 60. As we age, the endothelium, the thin lining inside our blood vessels, begins to stiffen and lose function. This reduces the production of nitric oxide, NO, a natural compound that relaxes blood vessels and improves circulation. Less nitric oxide means stiffer arteries, reduced oxygen delivery, and slower nutrient transport. The result: muscles feel weaker, recovery slows, and fatigue sets in more quickly. It's not always that your muscles can't grow, it's that they're not being fed properly. Poor circulation is often an invisible barrier to strength and endurance in older adults. How pomegranates work. Pomegranates are rich in polyphenols, particularly a group called Anthocyanins. Once consumed, these compounds are converted by gut bacteria into urolithins, which boost nitric oxide production and improve endothelial function. In a 2016 study published in Clinical Nutrition, just 2 weeks of pomegranate extract significantly increased blood flow, oxygen uptake, and physical performance in older adults. Another study published in Nature Metabolism showed that urolithin not only improves circulation but also stimulates mitophagy, a process that clears out damaged mitochondria and replaces them with healthier ones. Think of it as a 2-in-1 benefit. Pomegranates improve the delivery of nutrients to your muscles and also upgrade the cellular machinery that uses those nutrients. Why this matters for muscle recovery. When circulation is poor, muscles don't just struggle during exercise, they struggle afterward. 2. Oxygen and amino acids are essential for repair. And without them, recovery slows dramatically. This is why older adults often feel sore or stiff for days after activity. By boosting nitric oxide, pomegranates ensure that oxygen and nutrients reach muscle tissue faster and more efficiently. The result is less soreness, quicker recovery, and more energy to stay active. Practical ways to use pomegranates. Here are some simple, science-backed strategies for incorporating pomegranates into your diet. Juice. Drink 4 to 6 ounces of unsweetened pomegranate juice about 30 to 60 minutes before walking or light exercise. This timing matches the peak release of nitric oxide, maximizing circulation benefits. Seeds. Arils. Add 1/2 cup of fresh pomegranate seeds to salads. Yogurt bowls, or oatmeal. The crunch pairs well with protein and healthy fats. Concentrate. If fresh pomegranates aren't available, a tablespoon of pomegranate concentrate diluted in water offers a convenient alternative. Pairing tip. Polyphenols in pomegranates absorb better when consumed with healthy fats. Try tossing the seeds into a spinach salad with olive oil, or mix them into Greek yogurt with almonds. A story. Evelyn's walking comeback. Evelyn, a 74-year-old from California, loved her morning walks but found herself tiring halfway through her usual 2-mile route. She described her legs as heavy and said it felt like she wasn't getting enough oxygen. Her doctor suggested trying pomegranate juice before her walks. Skeptical but willing, Evelyn began drinking 5 ounces of unsweetened pomegranate juice about 45 minutes before heading out. Within 3 weeks, she noticed something remarkable. Her legs felt lighter. She could walk the full distance without stopping, and her post-walk soreness had diminished. She later joked that her legs had better plumbing now. Evelyn's experience reflects what the science confirms. By improving circulation, pomegranates give your muscles the support they need to perform and recover. The brain boost. It's not just muscles that benefit. Nitric oxide also increases cerebral blood flow, improving focus, memory, and overall brain function. That means pomegranates don't just help you move better, they help you think clearer. For older adults, that dual benefit, body and mind, is a priceless advantage. The bigger picture, cellular cleanup. Remember the concept of mitophagy. Urolithin A, the compound derived from pomegranate polyphenols, helps clear out damaged mitochondria and stimulate the creation of new ones. This cellular cleanup ensures your muscles have fresh, efficient energy factories. For older adults, it's like replacing old, sputtering engines with brand new ones. This means pomegranates aren't just about feeling better after a walk. They're about laying the cellular foundation for long-term strength, endurance, and resilience. Closing thoughts. When you see a pomegranate, it's easy to focus on the messiness of opening it or the sweetness of its seeds. But inside, It carries something far more profound, a natural ability to restore circulation, deliver nutrients, and renew energy systems. For anyone over 60, pomegranates offer a way to break through one of the most overlooked barriers to muscle health: poor blood flow. They don't just nourish, they deliver. They don't just energize, they rebuild. So the next time you prepare for a walk, a workout, or even a day of gardening, consider pouring yourself a small glass of pomegranate juice. It's not just a refreshing drink, it's a signal to your body: let's keep the blood flowing, the muscles repairing, and the energy coming. Up next, we'll step back and look at the bigger picture. We'll explore how to tie all of these fruits, apples, blueberries, tart cherries, bananas, and pomegranates, into a consistent routine using insights from behavioral science. Because knowing what to eat is only half the battle, the real challenge is making it a daily habit that sticks. Building consistency, turning nutrition into a daily habit. At this point, we've uncovered 5 powerful fruits: apples, blueberries, tart cherries, bananas, and pomegranates, and the unique compounds that make them allies in fighting muscle loss after 60. But let's face it, information alone doesn't change lives. You can know every scientific detail about ursolic acid, anthocyanins, potassium, or nitric oxide, but if you don't turn that knowledge into action, nothing changes. This is where behavioral science meets nutrition. The real challenge isn't figuring out what to eat, it's figuring out how to make it a habit. A habit so automatic that you don't have to think twice. Why habits matter more than willpower. Many people rely on willpower when trying to eat healthier. But willpower is like a muscle, it gets tired. That's why you can make good choices in the morning but fall back into old patterns by evening. What lasts is structure and repetition. Behavioral neuroscience shows that long-term habits form when 3 ingredients come together. Identity alignment. You see yourself as the kind of person who makes that choice. I'm someone who fuels my muscles every day. Emotional salience. The action feels rewarding, connected to something you value deeply. This glass of tart cherry juice means I'll sleep better tonight and walk stronger tomorrow. Repetition with cues. You anchor the habit to a consistent trigger. After my walk, I always have a banana with yogurt. Without these 3, habits rarely stick. With them, change becomes automatic. Timing. Eating when your body is most receptive. Research shows your muscles are most responsive during 2 key windows. Within 30 to 60 minutes after exercise. At this point, insulin sensitivity is high and your muscles are primed to absorb glucose and amino acids. Adding blueberries with Greek yogurt or a banana with whey protein makes recovery more efficient. Before bed, growth hormone surges during deep sleep, accelerating muscle repair. Pairing tart cherries with cottage cheese or apple slices with almond butter provides a steady release of nutrients and promotes better sleep. By aligning fruit consumption with your body's natural rhythms, you're not just eating healthier, you're strategically programming your biology. Pairings that boost effectiveness. Another simple shift is pairing fruits with complementary foods. Apples or prunes with nut butter. The fat improves absorption of ursolic acid. Blueberries with dairy proteins. Greek yogurt or cottage cheese increase anthocyanin bioavailability. Pomegranates with olive oil. Healthy fats enhance polyphenol absorption. These aren't complicated recipes. They're small tweaks that turn an ordinary snack into a muscle-supporting protocol. Practical habit hacks. Here are some evidence-based strategies to make these habits stick. When-then statements. Link the habit to an existing routine. When I brew my morning coffee, then I'll add a half cup of blueberries to my oatmeal. Environmental design. Keep fruits visible and accessible. A bowl of apples on the counter is a constant reminder. A carton of tart cherry juice in the fridge makes it easy to pour before bed. Start small. Don't try to overhaul your entire diet at once. Begin with 1 fruit, 1 time of day. Build from there. Track success emotionally. Instead of focusing on, did I eat my fruit today? Ask yourself, How do I feel when I do this consistently? Connecting to energy, mobility, and independence makes the habit meaningful. A story: Tom's transformation through simplicity. Tom, a 69-year-old retired carpenter, knew he needed to take better care of himself but felt overwhelmed by nutrition advice. He tried supplements, complicated diets, even expensive powders, but nothing stuck. One day, his grandson challenged him, "Grandpa, just eat one apple every afternoon with peanut butter and see what happens." Tom agreed. Within a month, he noticed fewer cramps in his legs. 2 months later, he had added blueberries to breakfast and tart cherry juice at night. Without realizing it, he had created a daily rhythm around fruit that supported his muscles. What changed wasn't just Tom's diet, it was his identity. He stopped seeing himself as someone who was fading with age, and started seeing himself as someone actively investing in strength and independence. The emotional core: why this matters. At the end of the day, this isn't about fruit, or even muscles. It's about what muscles represent: freedom, confidence, independence, the ability to climb stairs without fear, to carry your own groceries, to pick up a grandchild without hesitation, to travel, explore, and live life on your own terms. Every small choice you make: an apple with the peel, a cup of blueberries, a banana after your walk, is a vote for that future self. A self that moves freely, recovers quickly, and lives with vitality. A simple starting plan. If you're wondering how to begin, here's a one-day sample routine. Morning: oatmeal topped with 1 cup of blueberries and a handful of walnuts. Afternoon snack: apple with skin, sliced and paired with 1 tablespoon of almond butter. Post-exercise: banana blended into a protein shake within 30 minutes of finishing. Dinner side: spinach salad with pomegranate seeds and olive oil dressing. Evening: 8 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice about an hour before bed. This isn't complicated, and it doesn't require perfection. It's simply a rhythm that provides your muscles with daily, science-backed support. Closing reflections. We began this journey with a fruit bowl. Ordinary, unremarkable, until you realized it held extraordinary potential. Apples with ursolic acid to amplify growth signals. Blueberries with anthocyanins to restore mitochondria. Tart cherries to fight inflammaging and improve sleep. Bananas to keep muscles firing with potassium and magnesium. Pomegranates to boost circulation and nutrient delivery. Together, they form more than a shopping list. They form a strategy, a neuroscience-based, nutrition-powered plan to help you regain resilience, rebuild strength, and restore independence after 60. So the next time you look at your fruit bowl, don't just see snacks, see tools, see medicine, see your future. Because aging isn't just about decline. With the right choices, it's about adaptation, resilience, and strength. One bite, one habit, one day at a time. Finally, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to Health Vita. Together, we can keep learning, growing, and protecting not just our health but our freedom to live fully. Because no matter your age, it's never too late to take back control of your health.